What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central. And I know you guys should have known that when this list was released, this episode was going to be following shortly thereafter. So, the Sports Illustrated released up to, I think, number 11 so far. I guess they'll be doing the top 10 tomorrow. But we now know where the rest of the Bulls who are going to be on this list are listed. And so I figured we'll do this. Now, do want to point out here, there are a lot of lists going around. And so, like, some people were confusing Zack LaVine's old placement and Ball's placement on a Bleacher Report list, whereas we're talking about the Sports Illustrated list. So I saw a couple of comments in which it said that, Lonzo was ranked last year. He wasn't, not in the Sports Illustrated. He was ranked in Bleacher Report's list, but not Sports Illustrated. So we got the rest of the rankings. First up, we got DeMar DeRozan coming in at number 42, dropping from his previous rank of number 39. Now, a player of DeMar's age, even though he had a really good season last year, right? A player of DeMar's age dropping some makes sense, right? Because as much as I said before, this list is super, super subjective. On top of that, it's less of a where they were exactly last year. It's more of kind of like trying to predict in power rankings. But DeMar DeRozan still being in the top 50 of players in the NBA. So we got DeMar ranked at number 39. Now, I've already done a player profile on DeMar DeRozan. We all know what he's slated to be able to contribute to this team. On paper, how much he eases up in the half court for the Bulls and frees up a lot of the other players to do their thing. I also talked about Lonzo Ball in that, but we know what DeMar is going to bring. At least we think. Like I said in the video with DeMar DeRozan, don't be surprised if there is some regression. I know that, regression hits everyone differently. Some people have this steady, slight decline over time. Some players fall off really quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see some decline in DeMar DeRozan, but maybe it doesn't show very much in the statistics just because of where he's going to be slated in and the team he's going to be on. He's really moving from being, if not the number one, number two option to moving to a team where he's probably in most cases going to be the number three option, really, when you think about it. I really do think, we know Levine's number one option. I also think Vučević is going to be higher than DeMar DeRozan, and then DeRozan's going to be there. So don't be surprised if it decline there. But I think that ranking of 42 is pretty solid. I feel. Now I know Bulls fans. I know we see red, and we're going to get into Levine's ranking, which I expect there to be some backlash for. But let's get into Vučević, Nikola Bousevich, who moves up from being ranked number 43 to number 39. Now, this is a nice rise for a player who really hasn't won anything. Let's just be clear. Vuč is going to be such a key part in what this team does. And I know this is the thing. Vuč sometimes looks so effortless that it's going to be easy to forget just how consistent he's going to be on this. Don't be surprised, right? If with all the accolades and everything, like you hear Ball's name mentioned, you hear Patrick Williams' progression, you hear Zack LaVine, and then somewhere in there, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, casually, Vuč averaged 18 and 10 this year. Like, just don't be surprised, and it's probably going to be more than that. But like, just don't be surprised if you hear that. Vuč, who I'm going to do a player profile on soon, is, like I said, he's just one of those players that it's easy to point out what he doesn't do, and people forget how elite he is at the things he does do. And so Vuč moving up, it just makes sense. It does. Like, I for one, I'm happy with his placement here. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised to see him rank a bit higher. And a lot of this, even with him, and a lot of this is going to apply to Levine too, is that we're seeing those players who maybe put up good numbers, the players that, post good stats, have some weaknesses, in which every player has some weakness, but has weaknesses, but then doesn't really win, hasn't been part of winning. We're starting to see that the way that the commentary in the league and the writers are writing about them is that they really take them for granted. They look at those as empty stats. And, we've always had players in the league like that, but it really seems like it's this, I don't know how to word it. It's like everyone is finally starting to like decide on how they want to report on these players. And, they're calling them solid players, but I really do, Vooch is a player, and we know why we brought him in last season. And now on an improved team, he's gonna do wonders for us and our offense. So, but yeah, Vooch in there ranked at number 39. And now we get to our franchise player, upcoming free agent Zack LaVine, who moves up from number 75 in the SI rankings last year in Sports Illustrated to number 29 in the top 30, right? And so if you look at the fact that there are 30 teams in the NBA, that's basically saying that Zack LaVine is one of the franchise, it should be a franchise player, which he is, and he should be. Now, I know Bulls fans, and I know the watchers of this channel, and I know for a fact I love you guys. And, I've been watching the comments, even if I try to respond or at least give a like to almost everyone who comments, even if I don't agree with some of your guys' comments. But I know you guys are going to disagree with this. I know a lot of Bulls fans are going to disagree with this. And, there's an argument that you can make with Zach probably being one of the 20 best players in the NBA. Hell, there's even, when you count his efficiency, there's absolute reason, I think, argument to say that Zack LaVine may be one of the 15 best players in the NBA. But this is what it all comes down to. And what I said with Vooch, it comes down to winning. It comes down to winning. And don't be surprised if the Chicago Bulls, by some of our estimations, make it to a top 4 or 5 seed, that this ranking that we see Zack LaVine in now, being ranked number 29, don't be surprised if he's in the top 20 easily next season if this team just wins and he has that same efficiency. And we know we expect those scoring numbers to go down because he's on a much better team. So don't be surprised with that if instead of what he averages more like 24, 25 points a game. But that efficiency, if that efficiency stays where it is, the Bulls are going to be a tough team like we think they are, and they win. God forbid they win around in the playoffs. Zack LaVine on this ranking next year is going to rise and be so much higher than where he is right now that it's going to be funny to see. It's going to be interesting to watch this season and see how the opinion on Zack LaVine, as far as the way that he's reported on and everything, changes over the course of the season. The reason why I say that is because, right now people are, they look at Zach as a really solid player. They look at Zach as a good player, and rightfully so, the Bulls' best player. But there's still some Zack LaVine doubters, regardless, and that's because And here's the thing: it's not even just his play and the team's play. More nationally televised games, all of that plays a role. God forbid if they, which they will. Speaking positivity, right? Go on a run in the playoffs, and they do that on national TV. Listen here. Zack LaVine rising from number 75 to number 29. We're going to be talking next year about Zack LaVine rising from number 29 to number 16 or 15. Just don't be surprised. And so that's where they rank at right now. And then we also had ESPN's rankings came out as well. And on ESPN's ranking, just to give a little bit of comparison there, DeMar DeRozan ranked at number 45, Vučević ranked at number 39, and Zack LaVine ranked at number 33. So those are the rankings. Let me know down below what you guys think about it. Do you think that any of the Bulls players are ranked too low, too high? And also when you answer that, try to answer it. Really try to be as objective as you can. I know we're all huge Bulls fans. I know we're all huge LaVine fans, but try to be objective as what you can. And other than just they're stupid, let's have some real conversation about it. We're all Bulls fans in these comments. We're all Bulls fans. I'm a Bulls fan. We all know that Zack LaVine is an amazing player. But let's have some great conversation about what it is. That's what I wanted to start off this video with. We got a couple of other things I'm going to hit on before we go. Second off, I guess I should say, I already talked about the first topic. The Bulls pick up the options on Kobe White and Patrick Williams. I don't think that that's too noteworthy per se. The writing was on the wall with that. That's going to happen. That was academic at this point, I really do think. So them getting their fourth and third year options respectively just makes sense. We already know. I did a profile on Kobe White already. I'm going to do one on Patrick Williams soon as well. What those two players are slotted to be with this team and in this season. So, like I said, just really academic things at that point. The next thing I want to talk about is more speculative than anything else. And that is Ben Simmons. So Ben Simmons basically does not want to return to Philly. If he had it his way, he would not play another game in Philly. And naturally, us as Bulls fans and in Bulls Nation, there's a lot of talk about what the Bulls can do to possibly get Ben Simmons. And I understand it. This is the thing that I want to have. Like, and it's easy to say, hey, let's just trade this, let's just trade that for it. But let's really think about what the Bulls, just contract wise, would need to match it. We're talking about including either Levine, Vučević, DeMar, or Ball. Do you want to give up any of those players for Ben Simmons? That's just what we're looking at as a starting place to be able to just financially to bring in Ben Simmons. That's not even talking about what else we need to sweeten the pot compared to other deals. The Bulls are not getting Ben Simmons. And if they do, that means that it won't happen until, I can't remember the date where the Bulls can trade a recently signed player. I'm not saying that I wouldn't love to see Ben Simmons and Zack LaVine play together. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that realistically, I don't see that happening at all. Nada. It's not happening. And it's, we can dream all day, and I know everyone tries to bring these 2K trades into this. Like, it's not happening. But, players like John Wall who are on the market, players like Ben Simmons that are on the market, it's going to make the start of the season really interesting, right? The last time, I can't think of the last time, like, after free agency and everything, where a player of Ben Simmons level got traded before the season started. I really think the last one probably would have been James Harden when he was traded to the Rockets. Because I believe that happened because that happened after the Rockets signed Lynn and Ashik. And so, yeah, that happened after that, and they brought in James Harden. So, it usually gets done, right? It usually gets done, as much as like teams try to play hardball to see what deals they can get. Usually when a player requests a trade of this stature, the trade gets done sooner rather than later. So let me know what you guys think on where Ben Simmons may end up. I know this isn't straight up Bulls talk, but it's been a lot. I'm very active in Bulls everywhere, between Reddit, Facebook groups, Twitter, of course. So I see a lot of conversation happening, and that's just one of the things that I wanted to touch on in this podcast today, was the Ben Simmons thing, because I just don't see a world in which it happens. But I could be wrong. I've been proven wrong before. It remains to be seen. Be on the lookout. So the next video that I will do will be based around Patrick Williams, is the next one that I'll do. And then Vučević will be after that. And then Zack LaVine after that. So be on the lookout for those videos. And then also media days coming up. You damn best believe I will have a video up very shortly after that one, after Bulls media day ends. So be on the lookout for that. As always, as I like to end everything on, go Bulls. Make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel as well, just to help us grow. You can send us any email, feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. All right, now it's time. Go Bulls. Peace.